Dear friends, welcome back to my channel Let's Read. Yesterday, from the timeless collection of Ismat Chughtai, we were reading Muqaddas Farz. Part 1 was uploaded day before yesterday. So let's begin with part 2. Siddiqui Sahab told the driver to wait and rang the bell. In a few minutes, his beloved daughter Samina clung to him, shedding tears of joy. Disobeying her parents deeply distresses a daughter. She can't be at peace with herself until she is forgiven. It was a while she was under the parents' roof that Tashar's love had become a part of Samina's life. Would Tashar have been able to woo her in her own home if her parents had not been so liberal? And Tashar, he stood nearby, grinning sheepishly. He had not approved of the newspaper stunt his father had pulled. But he was the only brother of 4 sisters, and one day he would take charge of his father's business. He was reminded of his duty again and again. His sisters, all of them younger than he, were now well settled. A long time ago, the youngest had fallen in love with a dark-skinned Christian professor. Sethji had the young man cleverly whisked off to England on a government scholarship. Making a hasty retreat from the battlefield of love, the fellow hadn't even bothered to look back. Sethji, an important man, was reputed to be a successful promoter of politicians. Although he never accepted a position himself, many of his proteges adorned the assembly and various committees. He was viewed as a very successful kingmaker. And despite the fact that he was not affiliated with any particular group, he was always fond of firmly positioned between the winning party. He played a role in both the rise and fall of the masses. His was a multifaceted personality. Jawad Sahab's advice to Siddiqui Sahab, whatever it had been, transformed him. His heart beat within his chest with a new rhythm in a very correct and proper Hindi. Studded like diamonds with impressive words from Sanskrit, Siddiqui Sahab thanked Sethji for removing a great weight from his shoulders, that of an unwed daughter. For 7 generations the debt could not be paid. All faiths are sacred, he said, and the truest faith consists of the love and respect a father-in-law bestows upon his daughter-in-law. Endowing a daughter-in-law with one's faith together with one's son was indeed commendable. And Ganga was the mother of all, regardless of who was Christian or Hindu or Muslim. Her pure waters didn't question faith. Brahmin and untouchable, she invited everyone to drink from her cup. Sayyid Sahab, he said to Sethji, now using honorific titles, I am a human being. I have inherited my religion and accumulated knowledge from the written word. My Bhagwan and my Allah are 2 names for the same power. Siddiqui Sahab quoted extensively from the Bible and the Gita, as well as the Quran. Sethji was very impressed. His wife requested a neighbor to cook an elaborate non-vegetarian roast chicken dinner for their guest. The family bustled with excitement. Sethji's son's father-in-law, a man of great means and even greater principles, had come to bless his daughter. How liberally he passed out those 50 rupee bills to the servants. Siddiqui Sahab attended many dinners thrown in his honor, but he refused to eat meat. Meat weakens the faith, he proclaimed repeatedly. People said, listen, he's only half a Muslim. How long can he last? You have enjoyed the fulfillment of your wishes, Siddiqui Sahab told Sethji. Now, you must allow me to pay my debt to your family and friends. Samina's mother cried incessantly, although the pictures helped lessen her grief somewhat. Sethji's wife was a little reluctant to hand over the diamond necklace and earrings to her daughter-in-law at the time of her departure. Sethji admonished her, don't be of such a small heart. Our son's father-in-law is a man of wealth and principles. Didn't you see how gracefully he accepted our unfairness? And here you are worrying about a few pieces of glass. With great pomp and show, Siddiqui Sahab returned to Delhi with his daughter and son-in-law. Instructions had already been left with friends and relatives who were present at the railway station, laden with bouquets and garlands. Jawad Sahab had accompanied Siddiqui Sahab from Allahabad for good luck. The girl's mother seethed with fury. She suggested, kill the boy and throw his body in the lawn so he can turn into compost. Are you out of your mind? Just be patient and see what happens. Tashar is Samina's husband now. Proposal and acceptance, whether it be in our language or any other, has already been taken place. They are now husband and wife, and both are dear to us. That evening, the marquee was set up again, and invitations went out to all the important people in the city. Tashar became agitated when he was told to convert. Fearfully, he glanced first at Siddiqui Sahab and then at Jawad Sahab, mentally planning an escape route through the window, no doubt. Papa, what's this nonsense? First, it was Papa Ji who forced me to become a Hindu, telling me to recite all kinds of holy hymns that sounded like gibberish, and now you have started this farce? We refuse to be a part of your game. As soon as we return to Allahabad, we will be forced to dip in the holy water again. The girl's mother began to cry at this, and Siddiqui Sahab floundered. There's only one way out, he said, clasping his wife's hand. Let's go and drown ourselves in the Jamuna. Papa, how can you drown? You know how to swim. You'll probably let Mummy drown and come out of the water all by yourself, nice and clean, for your girlfriend Miss Farzana. Sami, be quiet. Tashar scolded Samina. Papa, I mean Siddiqui Sahab, I am ready to be a Muslim. Shut up, you fool. I am not ready to be reconverted. Don't you remember how your mother lovingly put the Mangal Sutra around my neck? These are diamonds, you know. Look, don't you think it's pretty? Oh, you can wear the Mangal Sutra as a Muslim too, Tashar retorted angrily. Woo, it's kill me. Kill them both and bury them. It was the mother. What an ungrateful daughter. He's ready to be a Muslim, and this miserable creature has decided to be troublesome. Sami, will you be quiet or not? Tashar admonished Samina again. When I opposed Papaji, you threatened me to jump out of the window. Do you know there's a mouse hole under the window? The big mouse in there would have been surprised out of its hole if you had jumped, scaring you out of your wits. Someone said, My word, the Maulvi Sahab had been waiting a long time to make the conversion. He hasn't even accepted a cup of tea. Says he'll have a complete breakfast after he has performed his sacred duty. What a greedy man. I'm ready, and 2 smacks across her face will bring her to her senses. Darling, did you lose anything by becoming Hindu? There's no need to be so pig-headed. Oh, and what about the Aarti and the lovely Mangal Sutra you gave me? But I must say, you wear such dirty socks, I could smell your feet when I bent down to touch them. What is all this nonsense? Siddiqui Sahab roared in anger. Everything is a big joke for you? Tashar, get ready to submit to the honor. He used the word Musharraf, which means one who receives the honor. Musharraf? Musharraf Hamidullah, who is a low-down thief and a crook, always cheated in every exam. Sami, remember, he pulled out a knife once when Sir caught him red-handed. You are the spoiled son of a rich man, and he is the son of a poor orderly. What a crime. Have you ever wondered how he manages to survive, you bloody capitalist? Look, Mummy, she is rude to me again. I'm going to hit her now. They have perished, those who would raise their hands to hit. Mummy responded bitterly. Then, how long is this continue? She asked. Okay, dear, I forgot the pudding in the oven. She ran towards the kitchen. Look here, these kids are driving me out of my mind. Jawad, help me please. Siddiqui Sahab turned to Jawad. Well, what do you suggest? Jawad, who had been quietly listening to all this and smilingly. I have followed your advice until now. What should I do next? Look, Tashar interjected. You had better convert me right away. I have booked seats for the matinee. We have to be there at 3. The Maulvi still hasn't eaten anything. You should skip the matinee. There's an at-home in the evening. But that's at 8. Every move made by Siddiqui Sahab was being repulsed. Listen to me, children, Jawad Sahab said, clearing his throat. Yes, uncle, Tashar answered respectfully. Did you have a civil ceremony? Yes, sir. The certificate is in a safe in Allahabad. Did you read the forms carefully before signing them? Yes, I read them. But Samina was too upset to bother. I asked her to sign quickly so we could get out of here. How could I sign quickly with such a terrible pen? You can buy hundreds of shoes, but you can't buy a decent pen? Do you see how rude and disrespectful she is? And we've been married twice, first in a civil ceremony, then a Hindu one. I had refused, but she thought it would be very romantic to be led around the sacred fire. She opposed everything I said, just she could win over my parents. Yes, it was romantic like a wedding in a fishing village, with the Pandit muttering holy words that sounded like strum strum. And Papaji, your father, pouring all that real ghee over the fire? It reminded me of a carrot halwa when it's being fried, sugary sweet. Oh, have you ever smelled real ghee over a burning funeral pyre? You stupid fool, shut up. Samina folded a newspaper and pounded his head with it. Oh God, this is ridiculous. It was Siddiqui Sahab. Let me handle this. Jawad Sahab interjected in a gentle voice. What a disaster. Will this khachar khachar go on forever? The mother asked as she came back into the room. Listen to me, children, and don't interrupt with any of your wisecracks at this time. I am going to ask you a very important question. Before the civil ceremony started, did you read the bit in the form of which states that neither of you belongs to any particular faith? No, I don't recall that I did. But it doesn't matter. From the very beginning, I have done whatever Mataji and Papaji have told me to do. And as a matter of fact, I never really thought much about questions of faith. Religion is for the elderly. In the convent, we were exposed to Jesus. In Mathura, Krishnaji reigned supreme. And once I accompanied Musharraf to a shrine where, imitating him, I lifted my hands together and moved my lips. You mean you've never thought seriously about Allah or Bhagwan? What about Dilip Kumar, the actor? Have you ever thought about him? Siddiqui Sahib's tone was sarcastic. Well, Mataji was his fan at one time. Personally, I prefer Amit, Mithun, and that's enough. Now listen. This means that no other proceeding has any meaning unless your civil marriage is resolved first. So the Hindu ceremony was no good? Tashar asked excitedly. Nonsense. It's no use your harping on that ceremony, Tushi. You can divorce me if you want, but you're not going to get back the Mangal Sutra. Oh, what a greedy girl. Here we are discussing such serious matters, and all she can think of this Mangal Sutra. Tell me honestly, if Mataji had not shown you the Mangal Sutra and the rest of the jewelry first, would you have agreed to the Hindu ceremony? You are mean, Tushi. Do you think I'm so greedy, you villain? Papa, marry me off to anybody. I don't care who I call this man my protector. Touched his smelly feet. Oh my God. Samina clenched her fist and ran towards Tashar. Bloodshed would have ensued if Siddiqui Sahab's wife had not threatened them with an attack of hysteria. Dear friends, this was end of part 2. Stay tuned for the last segment of the story, part 3. Thank you.